yourself a break. Here you'll find some love, music, laughter, and above all, she'll dare to tell the truth. And so come to Granny's place and give your spirit a big boost.
Welcome to Granny's Place, where Granny offers commentary, answers your personal questions, and plays the piano, all with a twinkle in her eye, love in her heart, a delightful sense of humor, amazing insight, and a gorgeous grand piano. If you don't know Granny Beth Green, she's a commentator, improvisational pianist, intuitively guided counselor, longtime social activist, author of 6 books, and 4 CDs of original music, and she's founder of the innerrevolution.org. And she's here for us every Wednesday starting at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. And so now, without further ado, here's Granny Beth.
Welcome everybody to Granny's Place. Today, of course, we have a very special Granny's Place because this is our Thanksgiving 2018 edition of Granny's Place. So I have to explain something. Last week I talked about the post-election reflection, right? And how we had come to a pause. We didn't feel anymore like we're just like cascading down into the toilet. But really, just because we may have stopped some of the movement towards a more separative society, a more hierarchical society, a more exploitative society, that doesn't mean that we have what it takes in order to move forward to build the new world that we all want and that we're looking for. And I said that I would start a series of discussions about what is it that we really want to build and how are we going to do it. This is totally not partisan. This has nothing to do with whether you're a Democrat or Republican or an independent or a libertarian or anything. It's about being a human being, looking at our world, saying what's wrong, what's right, what can we make better, and how are we going to do that? But today is just before Thanksgiving, if you watch us live, and we are definitely in the Thanksgiving holiday season, and I don't want to ignore that because that's very important. So I'm going to put it all together.
Yes.
Somehow. So the first thing I want to talk about is Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
To you, Granny.
Okay, now, by the way, if you're confused by the name, my name is Beth Green. And I've written all the books and done most of the CDs under the name of Beth Green, but I also have been called Granny Rocks, and this is Granny's Place, and we realized actually that I am Granny Beth. So in order to end all the confusion, we're going to call me Granny Beth now, but I'm still Granny Rocks, and I'm still Beth Green, but Granny Beth Green, and so less confusion, especially at our age, don't you think?
Yeah, really. Less is better.
Okay, so now Thanksgiving. What do we associate with Thanksgiving? See, you're with us during this season of Thanksgiving. And I'm hoping that you're here because you want to be. And I hope that you want to be here for the same reason that I want to be here, which is that I want to have a better world and I want to have some fun getting there. And so Thanksgiving, most people think of Thanksgiving as an eating holiday. I mean, come on. We know that that's true, right?
I
mean, yes, oh, yeah. Eating, stuffing. We are the stuffing. We are the stuff of the stuffing. We are the stuffed stuffing. Anyway, why do we associate Thanksgiving with eating? Well, because we associate nurturing with eating, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to nurture myself, so I eat. Now, sometimes we eat the right things and they are nurturing, and sometimes we eat the wrong things, or we eat the right things in the wrong amount, and it isn't nurturing, but that's the association. So I'm saying Thanksgiving, you're here with us tonight, or any time that you listen to this, because you want to feel nurtured. And that's what our Thanksgiving celebration is going to be about. It's going to be about nurturing you and nurturing us. And that's what it's supposed to be. Now, the question then is, what is nurturing? Now, most people associate that with a kind of a simplistic idea of what love is. Like, oh, come to Granny, she's going to make you feel much better. Or come to Mommy, and she's going to make you feel much better. Or come to Daddy, and he's going to tell you what reality is, and he's going to be strong. He's going to protect you, and you're going to feel much better. Well, I mean, that's the dream, or the fantasy of all of these things, right? And so Thanksgiving is just like family on steroids, right? We're all supposed to come together and make each other feel so much better, right? Is there a problem with that?
I wonder. What do you think?
I think there's a problem with that. And I'll tell you what the problem is. Because we associate feeling better with sweetness. Oh, you poor baby. Poor thing. Come to Mommy. I'll give you a cupcake. I'll give you a sugar cookie. Oh, somebody just killed your mother in the house next door. Well, sit down and have some milk and cookies, right? So that is one of the associations, right? Oh, I'm crying, I'm miserable, Mommy puts food in my mouth, right? So, and what do we typically put in our mouths when we are looking for that nurturing? Sugar. Sugar. Now, I want to tell you something. In Yiddish, the word for a little crazy is meshuga. So I think meshuga comes from sugar. But nobody has ever put that in the dictionary. And why do I say that? Because sugar makes you meshuga. It makes you kind of crazy and freaky and tense, and not to speak of ruining your bones and giving you diabetes and all of that. So now, what's my point about this? My point about this is we associate love and comfort with sugar, and sugar is sweet. And so when we want some comfort from someone, we typically are looking for sweet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you were so sweet to me when I went to you and told you that I had robbed the bank, and you said, honey, everybody's got a skeleton in their closet. So anyway,
and don't feel guilty.
And don't feel guilty, don't feel bad, and don't even think about giving the money back. So anyway, so sweet is what we associate with nurturance. But is that really nurturing? So when you come to someone for advice or for feedback, you tend to want that same sugar. Oh yes, so-and-so was so sweet, and I felt so comforted, and oh yes, now I can go to sleep. No, you're already asleep. Why? Because true love is not sweet. It's nurturing. And nurturing includes both compassion and sweetness and harsh reality. I call it love and awareness. So when you come to Granny's Place for Thanksgiving, you're coming for nurturance, and the kind of nurturance you're asking for is love and awareness, right?
Yep.
You may not have known that, but that's why you're here. Or maybe that's why you just left. Uh-oh, how many people did we lose already on this show?
Well, we did it to tell people we're going to have uncommon sense.
Uncommon sense. Uncommon sense is truthful, direct. You know, I call it ruthless self-honesty. And it's not just self-honesty, but it's ruthless honesty with each other. But that doesn't mean we're ruthless about the way we deliver it. That means We get to be compassionate, but we have to be really honest. And people don't necessarily like that because that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for sweet. So the same thing that is true for us as individuals, let's face the realities of our lives. Let's face what we're doing. Let's be honest about what we're doing to ourselves. Let's be honest about our addictions. Let's be honest about our out of control emotionality. Let's be honest about our competitiveness and all that other stuff and our anger and how hurtful we are. Let's be honest, but compassionately honest with ourselves, and we're honest with each other. But it's not just us as individuals, it's also us as a society. And it's not just our society, it's kind of global, right? And that's what I mean when I say those two parts of where do we go from here and how do we get there, and talking about Thanksgiving go hand in glove, because we need the same kind of self-honesty and honesty with each other in order to nurture ourselves as a world. I am not talking about brutality, lock her up, or, mindless kind of viciousness that we see in our body politic today sometimes. But I'm also saying we can't just pretend that problems don't exist and that everything was hunky-dory before President Trump emerged. I mean, it wasn't hunky and it wasn't dory. Whoever they are. Anyway. So we have to look at the foundation of our society, and that is very scary. We're not even used to being honest on that level. How many of us were asked when we were kids to think about what are the flaws in the capitalist system and how do we need to deal with those? Or what is the weakness of American democracy? Or, most of us didn't get that kind of education because we weren't taught to think, we weren't taught to be honest, we were taught to parrot what we were told. So in order for us and me on this series of shows to talk about where we're going, I'm going to have to be extremely honest about things that are going to make us extremely uncomfortable. Happy Thanksgiving. Did I hear people hanging up already? Hey.
Well, I don't want to be an ostrich with my head buried in the sand.
Well, that is really the point. People who have been sweet about global warming are watching our forests, our homes burn, our communities flooded, horrible storms, suffering of the animals and the people, huge losses. But hey, be sweet. Don't bring that up. It's an inconvenient truth, as Al Gore said. So we have to be truthful, but we have to be really truthful about the part that we play in all of our miseries. Come see me next week. And I'm going to continue this conversation and start looking at what are the foundational issues and things in our world that need to be questioned and then hopefully altered. But I think I better stop now because I understand that we have a question. I'm going to play the piano for a minute. Take it away.
Okay.
Grampy.
The first question is for Madam Mazurka.
Okay, now for those of you who don't know, Madam Mazurka is a dead Transylvanian psychic who only comes out from the grave when she's on our show or working with us. And so she really likes it when you send her a question. Talking about sending questions, I'm still answering personal questions. Go to the post, any post.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, and scroll down till you see how to send your question to Granny. And then it's very simple. You click on a schmitchick, on a hyperlink, they call it. And then it brings you to the site, and you can put in your name, or you don't have to put in your name, and you write in your question. Now, if you want Granny Beth, to answer the question, that's fine. But if you want Madam Mazurka to answer the question, please say, "Hi, Madam Mazurka," or "Dear Madam Mazurka." So you can be anonymous, or you can not be anonymous. You can write to Madam Mazurka, or you can write to me, Granny Rocks. But I'm not upset when you write to Madam Mazurka. I don't have an egoic reaction, though she gets really upset when people write to her. No, don't write to her.
Write to Granny.
To me. Her is me. She'd say, "I'm already turning into Madam Mazurka." Then you write to me. So then I'm putting the scarf on. I used to put it on my head, but if you watched the last show, you saw that was a disaster. It just kind of got caught in this headphone thing. So, well, darlings, I can come with my scarf like this. I like it better over my head, but as long as I have my scarf, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I am here, here, here. Yes. Ask your question, darling.
This question is from Anonymous.
Again.
Hi, Madam Mazurka.
Anonymous really loves me. I'm always hearing from Anonymous. I never know if it's a man or a woman.
Anonymous.
I don't know if it's a man or a woman, a transgender, whatever. But whoever you are, I love you, darling.
Okay. Hi, Madam Mazurka. I've really enjoyed hearing you share on this show. My problem is that I continually get blindsided by feedback from people that I'm projecting a negative feeling toward them, even though I'm thinking and saying positive thoughts to them. What can I do to change this pattern? I would also like to ask Granny if she might have some additional thoughts.
Well, forget Granny, there won't be any time. So, this is a very amusing question. Does anybody hear the amusement?
I would like to know, why is that amusing?
Because, darling, Anonymous said that he or she, or they, are continuously blindsided by people saying that he or her is sending out negative energy. Now, the first time you could be blindsided. The second time you could be blindsided. But continuously blindsided? How could that be? Don't you ever figure out that this is going to happen? So you couldn't be blindsided, because if it's happening continually, then you are well aware of this situation and this problem. But do you take it on and say, I wonder why I am sending out these negative vibes when I'm telling myself I'm being Mr. Loving Puss, right? Or no, because you're the victim. I'm always being blindsided, continually blindsided, right? I didn't know it was coming. And no, even though it comes every 10 minutes, I had no idea that this was going to come. So that's kind of goofy. Wouldn't you say that? That's very goofy?
Sounds kind of goofy.
That's kind of goofy. So that's the first thing, is somehow you are feeling bad about this and you're making yourself the victim by telling us that you've been blindsided. Now, you think that you're being so loving, and the other people, they don't think so. Now, I didn't hear from you that it's only one person who says this. So not only are you blindsided because it's continual, but also it's not just one person.
It said people.
It said people. So that's another. Isn't that kind of weird? So all these people are noticing. So in other words, you're going out and you forgot to put on your pants. So you're walking down the street and somebody blindsides you and says, sir, you know you're not wearing any pants. And you're just blindsided. And so then you go on down the street and someone else comes by and says, you know, you're not wearing any pants. And then you say, oh my God, I've been blindsided again. And then by the time the 14th person has told you you have no pants, by that time you're walking around with your hand over your schmitchik because you don't want to be exposed to the whole world as not having any pants, but you never stop and go put your pants on because you've been blindsided by all these people. So that means you need to be looking a little dipper. Like, are you lying to yourself about your friendly feelings? I mean, there's so many people who are giving you the same feedback. Maybe you're not wearing pants. So maybe you need to be looking a little further within yourself and seeing whether you're wearing pants or not. Now, it's possible that one human knows better than everybody. It happens. It truly happens. In science, for example, and in social situations, it's like, yes, you could be the only one who's right. That you're actually wearing pants, but nobody can see them because they're a special color that nobody in the world can see. So, is that possible? Is it likely? So, I suggest that you stop worrying about being blindsided and say, thank you for telling me that I'm not wearing any pants because I'm getting very cold here. And it's kind of embarrassing. See, but that's it. You're embarrassed. Somebody has said you have no pants on. So instead of saying, oh my God, I have no pants on, let me put on some pants and then I won't be embarrassed anymore. You said, I was embarrassed by that person telling me that I was not wearing any pants. And then I got embarrassed by the next one who told me I was not wearing any pants. You see, you keep getting embarrassed. But the only way to stop that is to put your pants on. So anyway, what I am saying about all of this, as you can see, is that if you start looking more at why don't I notice when I'm not wearing pants? Are my legs numb? Have I gotten so cold that they're numb? Do I not have a mirror that goes beneath here? What's going on that I don't know what's going on with me? This would be a very important thing to try to figure, right? What's going on with me that I am projecting negative energy and that I actually even think I'm being loving? So what's going on with me with that? And what's going on with me anyway, that why am I feeling so negative? So the thing is, darling, you've got to embrace the message, right? Not only don't kill the messenger, kiss the messenger.
And even before somebody gives that message, to wonder, gee, even if I think I'm projecting these positive thoughts, what am I really feeling?
Am I really
feeling?
Exactly. So this becomes a great opportunity for growth, right?
Yeah.
So otherwise, you're going to keep blindsiding people by having a smile on your face. Then you have a dagger in your heart.
Ooh.
And then you're actually the blindsider.
Ooh, heavy.
Okay, so I think we're not going to have time for another question, but I think there's other things because it's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait! I don't want to leave. Did I say you could take the scarf off? No, actually, you didn't say that I could take the scarf off. Well, leave it on. I didn't excuse you. I didn't say it's time for Madam Mazurka to leave. So I want you should go, send me your question and send it to Madam Mazurka. Okay. Well, is that right?
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay. I'm ready now. Thank you, Madam Mazurka, for being on the show, and I hope everybody enjoyed your delightful intervention. And we want to tell people right now a little bit about what's going on. We have Granny's Kitchen coming up at 7:15 Pacific time, which is 15 minutes after the live show. And what that is a great opportunity to talk to Granny and Sweet Baby James and all the other people who like to come to Granny's Kitchen and talk about the show and how you felt about the answers that I gave and the topics, and see how you relate to the topics. So that is on Granny's Kitchen, and there is a video conference, but you can call in on the phone if you can't get and there's directions, guess what, on the post. Now, it's a long post, but there's a lot of information. Tells you how you can become a follower, so you'll be notified when there's a live show, and there's instructions on how to send the questions, and then there's instructions on how to go to Granny's Kitchen. So come on. And now, what else? I would like to ask you to do something for me for Thanksgiving, which is tell people about Granny's Place. You may be a secret admirer, and you don't want to let anybody else in on this little secret because they may think you're crazy for liking the show. But should you listen to that voice, or should you just do it anyway? Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it. So share, like, do all those good things. You can make such a difference. See, I am very grateful to you for coming tonight. Oh, and by the way, you can chat with me anytime on Granny's Place because I woman the comments. So you talk to me and I can talk back to you. How do you like that? Talk back. That is the kind of thing that I would do. So that's another thing that you can do in order to, relate. But I need you. I need your support, just like I hope you need me, or at least that we support one another. And that's what I want to say about that. So, Sweet Baby James.
Yeah.
I think we should talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving.
What would you like to share?
Being thankful and grateful isn't just a good feeling, which it is. So much better than being grumpy and angry. Now, sometimes life is so hard. It's hard to be grateful. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. In fact, frequently, life is that hard, that it's hard to be grateful. But being angry should only motivate us to action. And then we can be grateful for the terrible things that have motivated us to action. But the benefit of gratitude is it helps us to relax. Okay, thank you. For years and years and years, since 1980, probably since 1980 when I had my spiritual awakening. And you don't have to be spiritual to like Granny's Place or to come. It doesn't matter. It's just feeling connected. I would wake up every morning and I would say, thank you, God, for this day. And it doesn't have to be God. But I would say, thank you, God, for this day and for everything in it. And I didn't always mean it, but I tried to mean it, right? Because this was my life. And I don't want to defecate on my life and make it meaningless or something that's just something to be endured, because then I'm not enjoying it. But when I feel grateful, I suddenly feel like, hey, it opens the door of inquiry. Well, is there something to be grateful for here? Is there something? Did I get something from this experience? Did I learn something from this? Am I still learning something from it? So all of a sudden, instead of having that shut door of anger and depression and sadness, I have an open door of inquiry about, is there some value to this experience, even if it does so? And what would that be, and how can I strengthen that? And how can I strengthen myself? And if I do really love something that's happening to me, just being grateful not only reinforces that feeling, but also it reminds me that good things can happen to me too. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get into self-pity, and it's kind of like a bottomless pit, isn't it? But when I'm grateful, I'm remembering, good things have happened to me. Good things can happen to me. Good things will happen to me again. no matter how things are, how tough it is. Some of you are going to be pretty much alone on Thanksgiving. Some of you are going to be with people you detest on Thanksgiving. Some of you will be with people whose love you're craving and you don't feel like you'll ever get it on Thanksgiving. Let's be grateful that we have life. Let's find something. And if you detest people, don't have Thanksgiving with them. You know, use your power to choose the experiences that are going to nurture you. And now I want to remind you, as we're coming to a close, that nurturance is love and awareness. Just because people may say things to you that may seem hard, like you really should stop smoking, or you know, you're wasting your life on a relationship where you're being brutalized and you're just getting lower, or whatever it is, listen to what the message is and see if there's any truth to it. We all need love, but we need awareness. And that is the true nurturance that I wish for you for this Thanksgiving. And I also invite you to return to Granny's Place next week, as I will continue on the path of talking about what are the underlying issues in our world and with ourselves, and what we can do about them.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.